Pavarotti.
Pavarotti?
Of Pavarotti.
He gives me chills.
Let's listen to Pavarotti.
Hello, welcome to The Revealing. I'm your host, Pavarotti, here to discuss the Idaho 4 case. Now, in this episode, what I'm going to do is bring you some information that actually came out last week, and I did a member video covering this information, but I had not yet exposed all of the information about the Aryan Knight connection with Meade and Umphenour, busting out and heading straight to Mr. Burroughs' house, and then all the things that transpired after that. However, I did put this out for members, and I'm going to give you an abbreviated version because this is something very important really everybody needs to know, because it relates to what's going on in the Kohberger case, in my humble opinion. You see, this hearing took place the day before the secret hearing in the Kohberger case that happened on the 11th. So I guess this was more than a week ago. But there were things that took place in the Meade case, in a hearing that they had in the Meade case, the day before the secret hearing in the Kohberger case, and things could possibly be related. And as much as we've uncovered since then, I mean, I'm willing to bet that things are related. So let me show you what I previewed for the members, and then we will discuss this thing a little bit further. So let's get right into it. Okay, this is from the Lewiston Tribune, and this is yesterday, December the 11th. Excuse me. This is from today, December the 11th, but it's reporting on what happened yesterday. So yeah, although Ann Taylor's in court today with Kohberger, she was in court yesterday with Mr. Meade. And you see, defendants in first-degree murder case appear in court in separate hearings. That's talking about Meade and Umphenour. Let's see here. There's Meade. 11. I'm going to figure out the 13. I know it's not the Aryan Circle. I'm not sure if it's not the Aryan Circle, to be honest with you. But you see this photo combo provided by the Twin Falls County Sheriff's Office in Idaho, shown from left, Nicholas Umphenour. Now, that is not what the photo shows. It just shows Meade. Okay, so let's read the article. Two co-defendants in a death penalty first-degree murder case, Nicholas D. Umphenour and Skylar Meade, appeared Tuesday in separate court hearings by Zoom. Umphenour, 29, and Meade, 32, were both indicted by a grand jury for first-degree murder in the death of 83-year-old James Monty of Julietta after the two planned a prison break. Yep, you know they planned it right after they arrested Michael Burroughs in Boise in March. Both hearings took place Tuesday before 2nd Judicial District Judge Michelle Evans, with the defendants appearing by Zoom at the Nez Perce County Courthouse. During the hearing for Meade, public defenders in the courtroom, Ann Taylor and Rick Cudahy, discussed several motions in the case. Some of the motions were related to Meade's appearance on Zoom, transport to the jail for the hearings, and his conditions at the jail. She's really worried about Meade's conditions. I think Meade might be helping her. Nez Perce County Chief Deputy Prosecutor April Smith asked for more time to respond to the motion by the defense. She said she received the lengthy document less than a week ago. The document raised many issues, and she would need more time to research and present evidence. Smith asked the court for 2 weeks and to allow for witnesses to testify over Zoom. Although Taylor acknowledged that Smith had just received the motion and it was lengthy, she objected to having it continued for the 2 weeks. She stated that the issues the motion brought up have been in place for a long time, that being Meade's housing status at the jail. She described that Meade in his own pod and he's locked in a cell 23 hours a day. Taylor could only visit Meade on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays because of staffing issues at the jail. Taylor pointed out that the trial is less than 2 months away and the conditions are impacting him. Taylor has worked with prosecutors to come up with solutions, but they haven't come to a resolution. Several dates were discussed to have the hearing in a timely manner while accommodating holiday schedules, court trials, and jail staffing. Court trials, I bet. Taylor also wanted Meade to be present in order to have the opportunity to discuss witness testimony with him. Smith said the issue with having Meade be present at the hearing was arranging transport in such a short time because it would require enough jail staff and SWAT. Evans said if the new courthouse was complete, those concerns for security would be alleviated because it has increased security and separate holding areas so inmates don't interact with the public. At the current courthouse, inmates are transported through areas accessible by the public. So maybe there was delays in building that Nez Perce County courthouse, and that's why they changed the venue to Ada. Should have known. Evans said if the new courthouse, Smith offered a creative suggestion of having the hearing at the jail. Taylor added that doing so would also allow the court to see the area and conditions in which Meade is being housed. Evans agreed, saying it would remove issues both attorneys had regarding transport to the courthouse. I think this will work. We'll make it work, Evans said, as she discussed making other accommodations for court employees and recording equipment. Evans scheduled the hearing for December 19th at the Nez Perce County Jail. I've never held court in jail, she said. So this is some weird stuff, folks. Evans also agreed to let local witnesses testify in person and those out of area to testify by Zoom. While that solved the issue for the December 19th hearing, other motions were discussed in the case regarding Zoom and transport to the courthouse with another hearing on January 10th. Taylor said using Zoom for some hearings was acceptable to the defense, but other hearings, especially ones with witnesses, they wanted to be in person. Taylor acknowledged there was some discussion with the prosecutor's office on allowing Meade to be in person for those hearings, but again were faced with issues of transport. Evans said they would take those up on a case-by-case basis. Evans also took up a motion to compel evidence from the defense pertaining to audio and video transport of Meade from the Lewiston-Nez Perce County Regional Airport to the Nez Perce County Jail and search warrants in the case. The motion to compel asked that those pieces of evidence be given to the defense because it hasn't been received. In regard to the search warrant, Smith said there have been numerous agencies involved, and prosecutor's office is working on verifying and gathering those to provide for the defense as well as other items of evidence. So here's another case that they're hiding video evidence on. As the court knows, there is a huge amount of discovery in this case, Smith said. We have been focusing on getting everything we can to the defense. Taylor said she understands some of those documents might not have come from the Nez Perce County Prosecutor's Office, but they have been available for a long time. She requested the court give an order to provide those documents considering the trial. A death penalty case is scheduled for February 3rd. Smith objected to giving the defense the audio and video footage of Meade's transport to the jail. Smith questioned why the information was relevant to Meade's charge of first-degree murder. She was also concerned that giving Meade's access to the video would be a threat to future transfers because it shows law enforcement security procedures. So, I wonder what Meade said in those videos in transport. Did he implicate something about the Kohberger case? Smith also noted the request came around the same time a civil suit was filed. A civil case was filed August 13th with Taylor listed as the attorney and Meade listed as the defendant. No other information on the civil case is available as the case is sealed. So I wonder who filed a civil case against Meade. Taylor said the files were requested in August. The defense issued a motion to compel November 9th. It only received an objection last night, which Taylor noted was outside of the 14-day limit to object. She outlined that the information in those audio and video files showed that when Meade was transported to the Nez Perce County Jail, he was strapped to a board with a bag over his head. Taylor asked that the court order prosecutors to give those files within 48 hours. Now, see, this is weird. Taylor asked that the court order prosecutors to give those files within 48 hours. This was yesterday. And she's wanting that stuff within 48 hours like she thinks it's going to be destroyed. I mentioned yesterday the only reason for an ex parte hearing is if the defense makes a good cause argument to the judge that evidence may be destroyed. He would order an ex parte hearing. This is crazy. Before Meade, Umphenour had his hearing with two public defenders, Brian Max and Brian Hall, appearing by Zoom from Boise. Now, see, this is another thing that's weird. All right, they got Umphenour still in jail in Boise. They're both charged with this murder of this poor old man, but for some reason they got Meade up in Nez Perce County. And they still have Umphenour down in Boise. It doesn't make any sense. Marks and Hall also discussed having their client appear over Zoom. They asked Evans to change an order directing Umphenour appear by Zoom unless otherwise ordered by the court. Smith requested that the order remain in place. In his argument objecting to the order to have Zoom court appearances, Mark said he was not opposed to have certain court hearings over Zoom or if weather impacted travel, but objected to all hearings taking place over Zoom. He said Umphenour and Meade were able to be transported to the Ada County Courthouse without any security issues, and there have been no concerns since his time at the Nez Perce County Jail. Mark said that he has every faith Nez Perce County deputies will be able to safely transport Umphenour. Marks was also concerned about the privacy with his client if all the hearings were done over Zoom, because when Umphenour appears at the jail, there is a deputy present that can hear their conversations. Marks asked that Zoom only be used if all parties agree it's appropriate. Evans asked Marks if he had ever been to Nez Perce County Courthouse, and Marks said he hadn't been there in a while. Let me just say it's not Ada County, Evans says. Evans explained that if Umphenour appeared in person, the courthouse will probably be closed, which she said they are willing to do if necessary. Evans noted that the order doesn't prohibit in-person hearings, but only when it's otherwise ordered by the court. Evans told Mark she would allow Umphenour to be in person at the courthouse for evidentiary hearings, jury selection, and for his trial. Evans also said some attorneys will appear on Zoom with their client at the jail, which give them more privacy. In her argument, Smith agreed that what the court outlined and agreed with the types of hearings that would be on Zoom and in person. Evans then denied the objection with the caveat that Umphenour could appear in person for evidentiary hearings, jury selection, and the trial. Umphenour will be arraigned Thursday, appearing by Zoom. So they haven't even arraigned Umphenour yet. Ooh, I'm telling you, it doesn't make any sense.
So I think that's very interesting, and it could have very well correlated to that secret hearing that was held on the 11th. Now, there have been new court docs dropped, and there has been a lot added to the case summary, just like we expected. And even though the docs that I was really wanting to see have not posted to the actual docs yet, they have posted to the case summary. And you got to love Ann Taylor. You know, I was asking out loud, please don't file those 3 replies to the state's objection under seal like they did so that we can get an idea of what the state said in them. I said, I know you're going to file the IGG and the Franks motion under seal, and they did. They filed those replies under seal, but the replies to the state's objection on those 3 motions that we weren't able to see, Ann Taylor miraculously did what I asked. She filed the replies to those objections not under seal. I'll go over that in a video here in just a little bit for you, and I'll get it out today. But in the meantime, please like and subscribe to the channel. Post your comments, thoughts, criticisms, and until the next one, Pavarotti is out.
Until I broke the rules, my